Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are gonna go through some specific basics you can add to your wardrobe this fall and winter. A lot of them I will have myself already, such as this one, and then we're also just gonna talk about other things that I found. We're gonna talk a little bit about the brands. I'm also gonna talk a little bit about what to avoid. I do have a video already on the channel which is quite popular about how to shop for quality basics, but I'm usually requested or asked if I have something that I've just found that you can buy directly. So that's what we're gonna do today. Everything will be linked down below, and also in my Klarna shop I save things runningly so that whenever I find something that I deem like good quality or like a good find, I always save it there. And I have these like little collections of different types of categories that you can look through, so always keep that in mind. Even if I haven't made a video about it specifically, these are always available. So we are now halfway into October, and the first thing I wanted to talk about in terms of quality basics are sweaters. Sweaters probably carry a lot of us quite far. In the winter months, at least that's true for me. And I've had a lot of sweaters throughout the years. When I started revamping my wardrobe 4 years ago to make like a permanent wardrobe and have things that I would bring out every year, I started adding things of almost exclusively, especially sweaters, wool or cashmere, and that has really paid off because some of these sweaters look just as good the year after, or most of them at this point. But I've also done some mistake purchases in that time, even though it was like fully wool or cashmere sweater. So I'm also going to talk a little bit about what brands that you might want to avoid, just to be sure. We can start with this sweater that I'm wearing right now. I bought this last year. This is from And Other Stories. It's had a bit of wear at this point. You'll be able to see exactly how many times I wear because I track what I wear every single day. And it's been washed once. It's honestly in perfect condition. I love it so much. I've like deep heeled it once just with a little fabric comb. It looks good as new. It's so lovely and heavy. And for a 100% wool sweater, it's just so nice. The difference between cashmere and wool is that cashmere is a little bit softer. And also what I like about wool over cashmere, especially if it's like a nice decent quality, is that it's more structured and heavy. So it just gives a different feeling. And this is one of my favorite wool sweaters. They have it again this year. This is also what I like about products such as these ones. They come back year after year because they work for people, so people keep buying them. I checked up on the website. It's not available in gray this year. And also they have it in cashmere, which obviously is more expensive. I also couldn't find that this year, but they have this year in a color that I also want to add myself, which is this cool tone brown. And then they also have this sort of like soft OD color as well. So these are some really nice additions to a permanent fall wardrobe that, yeah, they will last you for a really, really long time. And then speaking of Other Stories, because a lot of the time they'll have something which is slightly cut with polyester. When they do make something of full wool or full cashmere, it is just such good quality. So right now they also have a merino wool cardigan up in different colors. So just want to show this as well. It's usually something that I wear all the time. I bring it with me when it's like the winter time, just to add like an extra layer. So it's not always necessarily part of my outfit. It's something that I can add as an extra layer. Then also from Another Stories, they have these sheer wool tubs. They have something similar at CUS. I have a couple of those from CUS. Been really happy with them. They're just so nice to have as basics. I know they're a little bit different from cotton basics. We're also going to get to some of those a little bit later, but they are just so nice to have as like a base layer for a lot of outfits. And again, they come in some different colors, and here also some slightly more interesting colors. So these are other things that you can add, which is also going to last in your wardrobe for such a long time. You know, that's really what I appreciate, those things that you can buy once and then next season you'll bring it out again because it's still as wearable, obviously. Then I wanted to mention this coat specifically that they have again this year because I bought it last year, and that is their pea coat in navy. Navy pea coats in all lengths and sizes has become really popular, so it is maybe to a certain extent a little bit of like a trend piece, but again, a pea coat and navy is not like something that's gonna go out of style. So I bought mine and I've worn it so many times already. I wore it so much when I got it and it just looks so great. It does have a bit of polyester in it, but I usually find that a lot of these pieces, the polyester they have, it doesn't really bother me in terms of keeping me comfortable, which is something that I'm pretty sensitive to. So with this pea coat, it's really quite nice anyway. It's very breathable, and also it's really, really warm for what it is, because the other wool coats or coats that I tend to wear in winter are the ones from the Curated. I'll also be linking to those and share the pictures here, which first of all, I really like my coats from the Curated. You can wear them year after year and they don't won't pill because of the way the fabric is sort of like felted, which is really, really lovely. And yeah, the gray one, which if you're regular to my channel, I mean, you've seen that a million times. I've also had it in brown, then sold it again, and then I have the classic one in navy as well, and they just look so good. You cannot tell that they've been worn regardless of how many times you've worn them, but it is also just like a shell of a coat. So depending on the weather, you know, they look really great, but you do need to start like layering up underneath them. So with the pea coat, for example, because it is lined, it's a little bit thicker and heavier, it does just keep me warmer without needing to layer underneath it as much as I have to with the curated coats. And the same really is true for the other coats from Another Stories. I would also say Cos and Arcade. Again, I have saved some of my favorites to my Klarna shop, so you can go have a look. But for example, some of the things that are up right now just look so luxurious and so nice. Some of them will be fully wool, but again, some of them will have a polyester cut to them, which of course is not 100% ideal. Again, in my perfect world, I prefer it not to be, but these are still some really, really good staples that still will look really good after hundreds of times of wear. So it's not something that I would personally completely move away from. If you're just someone who, you know, tries to build a quality wardrobe but still has a little bit of flexibility, these are some good options. And I should probably mention this already, because all of the brands that I'm going to be talking about things from are brands where if you have an issue with an item, they're not prone to like argue back with you. You can just, you know, as long as what you have is to say is reasonable, even if it's because the wear and tear has been happening a little bit too quickly, they are likely to hear you out and then either like reimburse you or like give you a new item. So I think that's also something that on my list of things weigh really highly, because when you do pay a little bit extra, you want to make sure that it's not just like you're throwing money out the window should things sort of like not work out. So with all of these stores, probably also have something to do with the fact that they're a little bit bigger, but also just where they position themselves on quality. This is not they're not going to go to war with you if you have any troubles with any of the items. Then I just wanted to throw in here really quickly as well that I bought some jeans here. Also, I've had those for a year and I've worn them a lot. It is the wide-legged jeans. They're quite high-waisted as well. I've been really, really happy with those. I know that there's also another pair. I think they're called Slim now. They used to be called something else, which I haven't had them, but I know multiple people that has, and they are just really happy with them. So the denim pieces from Another Stories, I have some denim jackets from them, and I'm just so happy with them, where I've also had jeans throughout the times from Zara and Mango, and I've even had a pair of Levi's jeans that didn't really work out that well for me. And with the ones from Another Stories, the jeans pieces, they are just really nice and so far for me long lasting. They also don't really have any stretch, the ones that I have, and I know that the slim pair doesn't either, so that does help. As soon as you add some elastane to jeans, they will wear out quicker. And then before we're gonna go to another pair of jeans and then go into some basics which are more cotton based, we're just gonna stop by Arcade really quickly, because like I said, this sweater is from Another Stories and this is really like structured. It's kind of like thick and heavy, where I have also 100% wool sweaters, but from Arcade, showing those as well. I have it in black and in brown, and that's also the only colors that are available of this exact sort this year. Again, linking to them down below. But I have been so happy with mine, and the brown one especially, I've worn a lot of times now, 40 something times I think, and I've also had to wash it once or twice, which I mean, in theory, I mention this in every video, but you do not have to wash wool. But if it gets dirty, you know, I will throw it in the washer, of course on a wool program, and not that often. But they are also just so nice. They all have this sort of like little split in the end of by the end of the neck, both the Another Stories and the Arcade ones, and it just makes it stand up really nicely. I mean, you can still fold it, but it just works out really well. The ones from Arcade are a bit shorter, which is especially nice if you want to tug it in, which I like to do a lot. So when I wear this, I don't do that. Really, really happy with those. They're a little bit softer and still keep their structure so well. By the way, everything is true to size unless I mention otherwise. I should probably say that right now. So those are the ones from Arcade. Then Arcade also has a cashmere and wool sweater out right now, one that is cut. It's 75% cashmere and then the rest is wool, which is a really, really nice cut because it does have that softness of the cashmere, but then the wool does add a little bit of structure to it. So this is definitely a really nice cut if you're looking to invest in cashmere cashmere pieces this season, and they also have it in different colors. And then just a few more things on cashmere and wool. Other brands that I like so far, because I have tried a lot of brands at this point, and it's actually Lily Silk. I've been sponsored by them a couple of times, so I have quite a few things from there. This is not sponsored. I genuinely mention this because I mean it. And then also Everlane, which I've never been sponsored by, but I've also had some things from there. Both of those brands, they are just so consistently high in the quality of the wool and the cashmere that they provide, which I've also had sweaters from Mango, H&M, and then Uniqlo. I've had quite a few different cashmere sweaters from Uniqlo at this point, and I've just found it to honestly be sort of like a hit or a miss. And also with the way that the fabric sort of like behaves over time, it's sort of like inconsistent, which I just haven't found to be the case with any of these other brands. It's just consistently good, and like mentioned, if there's an issue, you can always go like take it up with the brand, which I have found that to be less the case with these, you know, cheaper brands, where it's almost like a unspoken contract between you and like the fast fashion brand, that when you buy something that doesn't really work out well, it's just too bad. At least that's been my experience on multiple occasions. So just wanted to loop those brands in there as well. Again, I will have some things linked down below of my favorites. And then just to round off with Arket, just want to say really quickly as well, because a lot of this is based on like tops, where I tend to not talk buttons as much. I don't know why that is. I think it's because buttons, for whatever reason, tend to be more personal to people, just both in the way that like your body looks and what shape you like, what different types of things that we like. But for me, I have a couple of different skirts from Arket at this point. I've been really happy with them, and every winter they usually bring out different wool and leather skirts. I have the Bordeaux one, which honestly one of my favorite articles of clothing. I am so happy with it. Still have it obviously, and it's available again this year. They don't always have all of the sizes available, but you can just sign up to get a notification. I'm very, very happy with it, so just want to mention that it's still up there. And then again, of course, it does look good still because it is real leather, and I try to take care of it as well. And then the same is true for their, again, wool skirts. Right now they have one in dark blue and one in black, which is a lot less expensive also than the leather one, but it's just a really nice look for winter. Sort of like a wool mini skirt, and obviously you can wear tights with it and knee-high boots, which is just personally one of my favorite outfit formulas. And then on top of that, it is also sort of like in trend now. It's a lot of what I see on Pinterest, at least. And then actually to stay with Everlane a little bit, now we are gonna talk a little bit about other types of basics, and also the basics, again, like cotton basics and layers that you put underneath everything else. And I've done a lot of experimenting with basics. I buy them from Zara, I buy them from H&M, albeit a little less so. I buy Everlane, I buy COS, I buy And Other Stories, I buy like whatever else sort of like on the radar as of right now. And it's so convenient to walk into Zara and H&M, and here I try to also be mindful of like getting the viscose pieces, getting the cotton pieces, you know, anything that will be comfortable for the time that I wear it. But the thing with these pieces is that they tend to not really last. They fall apart. I mean, I do have some exceptions within my wardrobe that I still wear, even though they've been worn a lot, because, you know, it just happened to work out. But I wanted to give a shout out to specifically Everlane on these types of pieces. I have two turtlenecks right now, which are of the cotton, like the Supreme cotton is what they call them. I think maybe actually they've changed the name, and they've even upgraded it to be of even nicer quality, which is crazy because like to me, the one that I bought before they changed the quality is already so high, and it's just a cotton like turtleneck. It's unbelievable. So I have the white one and the brown one. They've really kept like the color, the shape. I've watched them so many times. You know, it is a basic. I really need to like get myself together and buy some more of them, like in black and stuff like that, at the colors that I need, because at least for me and where I live, it is a little bit more inconvenient to buy Everlane. Actually might have changed, but I'll see. But depending on where you live, it might be a little bit more convenient, and you have to pay a little bit more, you know, up front to add a turtleneck from Everlane as compared to, for example, H&M. But it really makes all the difference because you will have it for years, which is a lot to say for, I don't know, a lot to say, but in this day and age, it's a lot to say for a cotton turtleneck. So the same will be true for honestly all of Everlane's other basics. And again, if you have any issues, this is the brand that is very willing to listen. So yeah, those I really like. And again, like I mentioned, the cashmere pieces that they have, and you know, when I started buying Everlane like 4 years ago, it was again a little bit more inconvenient with where I'm at here in Switzerland. And then also they didn't really have a lot of different options, where the options that they have now how like they have a much bigger range of styles, which is so nice to see. One thing that has also grown is their shoe collection, specifically their boots. I never managed to actually get boots from there myself, but I've only ever heard good things. I'm sharing some of my favorites available right now up on the screen. For example, the knee-high boots with a bit of a heel. I think those look really, really great. So that's also something to consider if you're on the lookout for boots. I am personally done buying boots for this season, so I won't, but it seems like a really, really good option for this year. And then obviously everything is usually 100% natural materials, or like leather, but you can go have a look specifically for whatever you're looking for. But whenever you need shoes, I would definitely go have a look at Everlane personally myself next time that's the case. But then definitely I'm still not like sleeping on those types of basics from Cuss and Arcade and also Under the Stars. I do feel like they're a little bit further in between, and also I have to be on the lookout for like what those types of basics are made of. For example, with at Cuss, they have some of the basics, especially the cotton ones, are like really heavy and thick and dense, which again is really nice. They're a lot more sturdier made than other brands. You know, I'm originally from Denmark, Copenhagen, so I tend to buy a lot of basics when I'm there. I have a couple of favorites that I've found over time, but whenever I do experiment and buy other things there, it doesn't always go that well. Like one of my one of my pet peeves when it comes to basic, it is that the basic can turn kind of flimsy if it's not like very well structured, where I do like sort of like a sheer based viscose sort of stretchy non-ripped basic top. And you know, liking that, one of the issues and challenges I often face is that, you know, especially if there's a turtleneck attached, it just goes like limp, which is not a nice look, which that doesn't happen for example with the Everlane that I've just shown you. And yeah, the same is true from the Under the Stars one, but it is a different look obviously to get something in cotton as opposed to getting something in wool. But the wool basics are really, really nice, and again they have ones at Under the Stars right now, and then I have a couple of ones from Cuss. Actually that's not true, because I did sell the white one that I had because it was just too warm toned for me personally, but I still have it in navy. I'm really happy with it. I've also worn it a lot, and one thing I like about it is because I tend to wear bracelets. Actually, I'm not wearing any right now, but I tend to wear a lot of bracelets, and with the sort of similar or comparable types of tops that I've had from Zara, they will rip where I'm wearing my jewelry, where that has never happened with the sheer wool pieces that I have from Cuss. And it is all under the same umbrella. It's the H&M group. So you know, it all goes back to H&M, but at the end of the day, what I tend to buy for is just, will it last within my wardrobe? Will I get to wear it a lot? Do I have to rebuy this type of item in a season or two? Because I don't want to do that. I want to get something which is of nice quality the first time when I can. So these types of wool, sheer-esque wool tops from Cuss and Under the Stars are really, really nice. So obviously also going to be linking to those down below. Then one more brand to mention, this is sort of like for fall pieces. Something that's become so popular are these cropped wool jackets, and I have one myself, which is from Zara, so it does have a cut to it with polyester, which I'm not a fan of, but it really was for the color that I bought it. But they tend to also make them again at like Cuss especially and stuff like that. However, there is a brand, it's this London brand. Now I actually don't remember I'll have them all up on my Klarna, but I have a friend here in Switzerland who bought a wool jacket from them, and after that obviously been doing some research to figure out if, you know, the quality seems overall nice, and it really does. And also I've tried her black cropped wool jacket, and it is really, really nice. Most of it is one size. I mean, I have my sizing always up on my website so you can check, but she's very petite, my friend, and it suits her very well, and I'm not petite, and it also suits me very well. And yeah, most of it is made from 100% natural fibers. The prices are extremely reasonable as well, so that's also a place that I would go and have a look for pieces like that. If you are looking for a cropped wool jacket, again, it's something that will just look just as good in your wardrobe the next year. I was just going through the links that I have open that I wanted to make sure that I talked about. Also, I forgot to mention this, but Everlane, maybe I'll just throw that in here. One of the things that they've been really popular for are the cheeky jeans, which they still have them. I've had a couple of pairs now, and one of them did not do that well, but I've heard that they've since revised or redesigned them again, and now supposedly the quality is even nicer and they're supposed to last a little bit longer. But I've actually been really happy with mine, even though they wore out quicker than I would have liked. And yeah, now I've just heard that the quality has gone up even further, so that's definitely just something to consider. And yeah, I think honestly that's it for this video. I will regroup and make another one when once there's more to talk about. So I hope you found maybe some gems in this video. I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.